Howdy everyone, and welcome back to more for Silent Hill F on the Black Shadow, and this probably will be the final part of this series. Last time we viewed our penultimate ending of the game, which is a fox wets its tail, where Hinako managed to cast aside Foxmaster's vision for her and break away from the marriage, and did achieve some degree of self-independence alongside with Shu, and managing to seemingly escape Ebi Sugaoka. However, we soon found out that the geezers around town had started to erupt, and it's possible that our actions had allowed the Ouroboros infestation from long ago to rise once again. And so that brings us to the truth. Now, I have, off-screen, done all the work necessary to get up towards about the Shimizu residence. But we are going to start this game fresh, because there are some things that are worth talking about. Now, there's a mix of good news and not so good news. The good news is that there are some things that are different to your third run of this game.
Did you know that when a girl grows up, she has to get married? It's her job.
The bad news is that that doesn't involve any of the cutscenes of this game. At least not so far that I have seen. They are all identical to some previous run of the game, so you will not see anything new, so we do have the ability to just skip through everything, which I will do. And that brings us to the start of the game once more, having left the house.
Never.
Now, there are some journal entries from our last spin revolving, well, including around town. According to another legend, and we speculated on this at the end of the last video, once upon a time, a water dragon that resided here spewed poison so people would not approach. Then Inari-sama subdued the dragon and made the land hospitable again. The area also has the surprising number of onsen. There is research suggesting that the tale of the water dragon could in fact be referring to an incident where onsen water containing noxious gas spouted out the ground like a geyser. I feel this theory is the most likely. From the findings of the recent town hall investigation, it was observed that the mountains to the north and south of town have a very brittle surface. Town hall declared that a landslide could occur at any given time, but the residents argued back, saying that in the last several hundred years there's been no record of such a disaster. Sakuko says that the divine protection of Inari-sama is actually what's protecting Ebi Sugaoka, or Abisogaoka, however it's pronounced. I'm going to go with my own pronunciation there. I also remember her telling me with a straight face, when the residents no longer believe in Inari-sama, Ebi Sugaoka will return once again to an uninhabitable land. We definitely saw evidence of this in the ending of the last game. So, if we want to save town, maybe slaying Inari might not be the best solution to this problem. So we might want to potentially avoid that. There is also more formidable foes. Here is the Shichibi. He can summon his underlings to the fray. His beautiful, however, is covered with putrid festers. The 7 lavish tails symbolize youth and divinity. Very cool. Now, as I noted, there are some things that I did find different on my journey. And they are only kind of minor. There are some documentations lying around, which I'll talk about in a moment, which do give a bit of additional lore and backstory to stuff that's going on. And some of it does give a degree of closure, which I do definitely appreciate, and that is very much nice. Also worth noting as well is that if you have gotten the Sacred Sword at this point, you no longer need to get the Sacred Sword again. It does, you do not have to do all 5 Jizo statues, which is pretty darn nice. You don't have to do that quest ever again. You can find it pretty early into the game, which I'll show off in a moment. There's another document here I want to show here. This one. A fox's wedding is a common expression used for times when it rains while the sun is still shining. According to the little folk here in Ibizuka Oka, however, they also use this expression for when a young girl was spirited away. Folklore pertaining to gods and spirits becoming infatuated with human women is not something unique to Japan and can be found across the world. Ibizuka Oka is no exception to this. Even here, there are old tales of young girls being taken away on a fox's wedding and disappearing forever. During the Meiji and Taisho periods, the town elders would apparently reassure the families of missing daughters that they had been swept away by a fox lord and are now enjoying a life of luxury without a care. And yes, more journal entries. That's why I came out. The Inari-sama of Ibizuka Oka has been the guardian deity that has protected this town since the old days, but they can be capricious at times. Sometimes they'll turn a fox into a fox and steal chickens and dried persimmons. Other times, they'll play tricks on children who don't listen to their parents. I also heard that when they fall in love with a woman they find desirable at first sight, they spirit her away to be their bride. And that's kind of what happened with Kodayuki, is the attack by the fox kind of basically infused him with it, and combined, I'm guessing, with like his special heritage, basically resulted in a situation where he was the heir to his clan. He ended up basically being like the heir to like the Inari, or something along those lines. I'm still a little bit fuzzy on the details. It's not as specific as perhaps it could be, but it's worth noting regardless. Hoping this transition works out pretty nicely. We can only pray. So, yeah, other things that are worth noting. Yes, Sacred Sword. So, you don't have to do the Jesus statue stuff. It's all done. You can actually find the Jesus statue fairly early on. Statue number 2 here by the cornfields. This is where the Sacred Sword even is. You can just go there, pick it up straight away, and that is yours for the majority of the game, which definitely helps expedite your way through. It's unpurified, so it's got all its its actual sword-like qualities is pretty cool. Something that's worth interesting to note as well, 2 things actually. First off, it seems to have a little bit of a hidden power in that it actually, much like some things that happen in the shrine area, it has the ability to purify souls. So what ended up happening was I fought the boss fight here against the big giant thing, and normally what happens is being defeated, its spirit hangs around, eventually it regenerates. Kill the sword, it died immediately. That was pretty cool. Interesting side bit. Not very useful. There's not many things that you fight in this game topside that will regenerate, but it will kill them. So that's pretty darn neat. Other thing well to note as well, pretty cool build I actually got. I spent most of this third run just getting hold of New Omori because I didn't have anything to spend the stuff on. Pretty cool build you can get going is there's this Wolf Omori, which lets you deal additional damage if you've got high durability weapons. Well, it turns out this one I think you find. There is one you can get hold of randomly from the Omori pot, which is, when he looks for it, I've got quite a few of these now. Which one is it? This one here, the Crab Omori. Weapon durability will not decrease when using focus. Now, the way the Spirited Sword works is that if you go into focus mode, you don't actually ever use, like, charged swings. It just stays fully charged and basically lets you counter any attacks that come at you. Well, that means as long as it's fully charged, you can attack normally, and you can just basically use a weapon with no durability loss whatsoever and get full use out of the additional damage. So it's really, really powerful. To be fair, even with the weapon now purified, which is part of the conditions for this run, it's still pretty strong. It's still got like, the same sort of range as these sort of weapons, and it's still got the same power as like your knives and sickles. So it's still very, very strong weapon, and you certainly should not ignore that. Pretty darn good. One last thing I'll quickly make a note of as well is that there are some interesting documents that you can find over the course of your third run, which, you know, there's some cool stuff going on. A lot of it is fairly extraneous in that it's not really that needed for the purposes of the game, but there's some nice things that give you kind of additional backgrounds. A lot of it involves like the characters we know, like kind of registering that they weren't perfect. So there's a letter here about the sacrifice game. No, it's not that one. Which one is it? So here's one of them. This is from Rinko. There's a couple I want to show off here. Rinko, diary, and further, there's a lot of information about her realizing that she was kind of not who she should have been. There's a lot of kind of apologies. This one I think you may have seen previously, but this one is very new. Realize now that hatred and envy I felt towards Hinako for having a boy who loved her far outweighed my own love for Shu. Hinako always said that she and Shu weren't dating, which is very boring, much I could have asked her. Instead, I stewed in my own jealousy like an idiot. And there's another one where she kind of basically says sorry. Sakuko's got another one as well, which I need to try and find. I think it's part of one of Sakuko's. Yeah, she's got this very extensive diary list. It's a bit funky how, like, there's lots of things that have the same name, so it kind of compiles them like this. But at the very end here, this is the one. Hinako really is fast when she goes all out, but when running together in gym class, she'll slow her pace down to match mine. Second, she can go on speed, though, takes off with a look on the train joy on her face. I always said that we had to do everything together. Get boyfriends, get married. Those were the selfish wishes of a child. Just like I'm a slow runner and Hinako is fast, people have to live life at their own pace. Just because Hinako is moving a bit faster than me doesn't mean she's betraying me. I was jealous and I couldn't even admit that to myself. I'm sorry, Hinako, for calling you a traitor. So there's a lot of, like, contrition, and apologies, to Hinako and that sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. There's one last thing that I want to show. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, though. It's going to be pretty difficult. But it's a letter regarding the Naginata that is given to you in the Dark Shrine. Here we are. The tattered paper. So the first one just talks about like the design of the blade. In the second run, there's this second one about kind of like theories behind who commissioned it, and then in the third run, you get this where you find it's a long-standing custom within the Tsuneki family for the next heir to present his bride with this Naginata on their wedding day, which is a thing apparently. Decoration of the handle also changed to suit the bride herself. In honor of the family's newest bride, the design of a fledgling bird with its wings spread wide has been embedded in gold leaf onto the handle. Inflective of not only the bride's name, but the hope that she shall soar high on gilded wings. So yeah, nice. There's some nice little side documents that you can read, which is appreciated. However, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm going to say that most of this run was me just playing the game pretty quickly with a couple of movies on the side. Outside of one or two other differences like that, there's a couple of like radios around with some extra, like some words said by some people and stuff like that. It's basically the same up to this point, and I'm doing this as a series. I've enjoyed this game so far, thus I was willing to go and do this for a third run. But if I wasn't, and I didn't, I'd probably just look it up on YouTube. Perhaps like you are. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I just think getting someone to play this game, 3 times is a lot to ask. I think getting to play any game 3 times to get the real ending is honestly a lot to ask, truthfully. 2 is fine. I've got no issues whatsoever. But this third run, there's just not a lot to distinguish it up until this point. So, yeah, that was what it was. If that's not what you want to hear, I'm sorry. That's me being the truth. Oh, if you're curious, by the way, the films was Total Recall and then Mississippi Burning. Definitely, if you've not seen Mississippi Burning, definitely watch it. Gene Hackman, Willem Dafoe, really good film. Go check it out. Anyways, so let's go and make our way up to the Shimizu residence. Except, no, we will not. There's one other thing that we have to do in this run. We got the purified sword, that's all well and good. However, there is the slight issue of the brooch, which we still have, and we have to offer this up somewhere. Turns out I found out where that was. In your third run, as you're making your way back from the mountainside from Shu's house towards the residence, just before you get there, there is this little section down here that opens up that wasn't there previously. I've done everything else, so don't worry about it. This normally is blocked off. But we can head inside to find two things. First, the final Ema that's been hiding from us all this time. And one final Jizo statue.
You've given me an amazing gift. Thank you so much. I appreciate the sentiment. But I need more time to find out if I'm worthy of accepting this.
So that is the brooch done. It does mean, by the way, that if there's anywhere that you need to get to, which revolves having the brooch on you, so you can gain access. Hope you already dealt with that situation, because you ain't getting there, because we have no access anymore. So that's worth noting about. But yeah, we got the sword from the Tsukumagami. We thanked it for its assistance, but we've purified it of the spirit. And now we have gotten hold of the Fox Brooch from Fox Mask and the Inari. We thanked it for its assistance as well, but have rid ourselves of that too. We are very much now on our own path.
No. It's got my home too.
Let us see where the path takes us.
What's going on? The holes, the doors, everything's changed. Why is it?
Is this a damn fishery again? I'm gonna have words.
Hello?
Is this the Shimizu household? Hello! This is Okamoto Fisheries. Thank you for your continued...
Hello?
One of these times, eh? So, I'm most curious to see what is going to happen now and how this game is going to proceed in our final hour or so with it.
Is this some sort of offering?
Also worth noting that in the 3 endings that we've had,
I don't recognize it.
we have had 3 different boss fights. Oh, here's on my inventory, by the way. It's a bit all over the joint. I got a lot of Arare. It's kind of a thing. You know what? Merry Christmas. Have a first aid kit. I'm sure you'll appreciate that. But yeah, pretty health heavy. You know, when you're running around most of the game with a sword that's basically indestructible and just murders things almost on sight, turns out you stack up your resources pretty darn quickly. Pretty darn quickly. Very effective. Yeah, so these boxes here, can't open them anymore. So I hope you've gotten the rewards from these previously, because they're no longer accessible to you.
When was this taken?
Ha! Ha. Ah, sod it. Have another Divine War. What the hell? Gets us up to 3,000 faith, which means we can get hold of Omori slot number 5. Also, yeah, I did find the ema that I missed in a previous video. It was in the area you do the Agura stuff, but obviously on this ending run, I never went there because I didn't need to do any of it. I just needed to get the sword and call it a day, so I accidentally forgot to go get the ema. So that's where that was hiding. My bad, slightly. But yeah, now have a 5th slot. Very nice. You know what? Put on this Kutsu leaf. Gives me increased max to everything. That sounds good. That sounds very good.
Is this my room?
I mean...
I had always thought that that's just how things are. So, when the offer for an arranged marriage came up, I thought, now it's my turn.
Why did you choose to marry someone you didn't know?
Well, our parents talked and brought in a matchmaker. And I was introduced to someone they felt was a good fit for me. Even though I had only just met this person, I could tell we would get along well. Marrying for love is nice, but love is blind. Once you're family, it's too late to worry about issues you have with your spouse.
I still don't understand what you and other women are talking about.
You want to have a happy marriage and lead a happy life, right?
That's where you're wrong. That's probably where me and everyone else are different.
Different? How?
I don't think being happy is what matters most. I mean, I do want to be happy, but there's something more important than that.
And what's that?
Making my own decisions. I don't want people to make me happy. I want to choose to be happy. Even if I end up miserable. If it's because of what I chose on my own, then it's all worth it. People always say a woman's happy when she has a dependable husband and a bunch of kids. I don't care if I never experience any of that for the rest of my life. What's most important to me is not whether or not I'm happy, but if I can choose my own fate.
I have to admit, that all sounds like an unrealistic ideal to me. But I don't think you're wrong about what you're saying. In another 100 years, no, perhaps sooner than that, there will come a time when true happiness is choosing your own path, no matter the outcome. I obviously can't live in that world, but I hope you can, Hinako.
Happiness is choosing your own path, no matter the outcome. Not choosing your own path is the opposite of happiness. I won't be told what to do. My choices are my own.
I will say, I do really like these kind of flashbacks, the way they're presented. They're not cutscene, but they're like... They are, but they're almost like you still kind of move around a bit, and it's almost sort of semi-interactive. I do very much like that. I need to... Right. Sorry, I haven't changed a few things here. Here we are. Junko. Junko says that she is happy, but I just don't get it. Neither she nor my mum ever look happy. Then again, when I tell her about my ideas of happiness, she just says that those don't sound very happy to her at all. What matters most to my sister are results. What matters most to me is choice. Even if it's what makes my sister happy, if I can't make my own choices, then I will be unhappy forever. But if what makes me happy doesn't give my sister the results she wants, then she will be unhappy. Though our concepts of happiness may differ, I think as sisters, we can respect each other's version of it and take comfort when we know the other has found it. Yeah. It makes a degree of sense as well. There was a letter we got from way back. Let me see if I can find it here. But there was definitely a letter that we got sent to... and it was from Junko after the marriage and a few years into it. Let me see if I can find it. Here we are, the letter to home. So this was sent clearly from Junko. A few years, yeah, I no longer recognize my husband. He gets blackout drunk most days now. When he's drunk, he turns violent. I didn't realize it was from Junko the first time I read it, and I looked back, I was like, of course it is. Well, this kind man I met when our marriage was being arranged go. My oldest child is only 3 years old, and I have another growing inside me. Life is too hard to keep living, but I'm forbidden to die. Yeah. Nasty. Nasty stuff. But it's what she decided she wanted, right? Well, she definitely got her results. Alright, Scale Wars Puzzle. I don't like you and you don't like me, but we have to go through this one more time. Would you be quiet out there? I'm a little busy. Alright. Let's have a read. That's exact. Is that the same thing as previously? I don't think that's changed. Yeah, I don't think that actually the lighting changed. This is just a simple trial and error puzzle. Okay.
Looks like this opens here.
Right, let's see what weighs much. That doesn't weigh much. That weighs a bit. Okay. Put you over there for now. Okay, that's very heavy. Leave it there for now. Nothing. Not much. Of course. It's representing where Hinako is and her mental state. And she's very much on the path of, this is my own route now. It makes sense she'd be separate, right?
What's this?
Makes sense. This door wasn't always locked with the fletching key. This is also new. Definitely there are things changing about in this run, which is good and makes sense. I'm not against that, but it's certainly taking a bit of adjusting. Mum and Dad's room. Kimie?
Hinako, would you come over here? I would like to correct some of your assumptions.
Assumptions?
I know that you think that I am too weak, that I smooth things over and never stand up to your father.
No,
Your father can be ill-tempered sometimes, I know. But really, he's just shy and acting strong in front of his daughters.
Then what about the times he yelled and threw things across the room?
You don't know this, but your father had a long-time dream. He wanted to open a small shop with a friend.
He did?
Yes.
think there was a document about that, actually.
Your father had a friend who was very dear to him from his time on the boat. He always said how they were as close as brothers. But one day, something must have happened. He took all of your father's money, and he disappeared.
What?
I'm sure he had his own reasons for what he did. He really did seem like a nice person. Your father, he was very hurt by that betrayal, and he couldn't keep his anger inside. But even so, he would always apologize after he calmed down. And yet, he was reluctant to come off as a weak father. You should know what pride means to a man.
But still, that's no excuse for the pain he caused.
Hinako, I know you think that a married woman is supposed to subject herself to her husband's abuse. But you know, married women aren't as weak or helpless as you think we are. Your father might put on a tough face in front of you too, but when you're not around, he's a whole different man. Your mother and father, got into a big fight once.
Really? I never knew that.
That time, I completely ignored him until he came to apologize. I acted normally when you two were around, of course. Not only that, I made his meals out of all the food that he ate. And for the tea that I gave him, I wrung dirty rags into it.
You did? I don't believe it.
Your father, he caved in just 3 days. After you and Junko went to bed, he bowed low right over there, head to the floor.
Dad did that? Really?
Sure he did. Whenever your father and I got into a serious argument, he knew that against me, he never had a chance. But Hinako, that was just how life went with the two of us. I am sorry for making you worry. I am so sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I truly am.
Guys, don't cry. You make me cry.
Thank you for telling me all of this. Mom.
My mom smiled through tears of joy when Junko got married. Was she really so happy to be sending her daughter off to suffer the same fate as her? Did she raise her just to be beaten and abused by some man? What even is a bride price anyway? Why do you make a profit off of Junko getting married? Did they get more money because they taught her how to cook and sew? Well, I won't learn those things. You won't make a single yen off of me. Why did my mother even marry him in the first place? How could anyone possibly call themselves happy having to spend their entire life with someone like him? Mom once told me a husband and wife support each other for the whole of their lives, in sickness and in health. You see, it took me a long time to recover after giving birth to you. I caused your father a lot of troubles with my mood swings. But no matter how much I complained, he stood by me through it all without so much as a frown. I know he may not have turned out to be much of a father to you girls, but all in all, he's been a good husband. To me. Hunter. I shall be brief and to the point. It is very unfortunate about Kimie. I'm sorry. And I understand why you'd want her to go ahead with the surgery. But surgery can do more harm than good. Remember how Mother never properly recovered after hers? I understand how you feel. I really do. But please reconsider before taking on debt for an operation that might not even make her better. Wouldn't Kimie rather you try to enjoy the time you had left together? Either way, you need to talk it out with Kimie first. Knowing you, you probably haven't said a word of this to her yet, have you? I can't cover the whole operation, but I'll send what little I have to spare. Buy Kimie something nice of it. Got it? She was dying. She was dying. And the savings they could have had to do something about it were stolen. And the only way that Carter could do something to help his wife and raise the money and get out of debt was the arranged marriage. Best scene in the game? I'd say it was up there. I'd say it was up there. Alright. We have our crests, which means it's time to solve the riddle. What have we got? I haven't read this yet. White and black fought, battling upon a set of scales. Yet neither wanted for the scales, for what they deserved was simply a quiet, grey place where they could be together. Whether we flee or spread our wings and fly is our decision alone, one to make only once we are ready. They had no use for those who towered from the heavens, imposing their will on others. I think, not as simple admittedly, but I think it's fairly obvious the stuff that we need to do. Overall. No scales. White bird. Black sparrow. Possibly this as well. The heavens obviously referring to the gods and the fact that no longer are we going to be, you know, giving ourselves up to them, basically. That's for the actual which way they go around. Whether we flee or spread our wings and fly, it's our decision alone. We have no use for those towered upon. We have no use for those who towered from the heavens, opposing their will and others. There's not a lot to go on here, honestly. Is it literally just like this? No. I feel like these are probably facing outwards, you know, flying away.
It opened. But what was that about?
There's your solution.
Hinako, can we talk?
Can't I?
What do you want?
I wanted to apologize to you.
For what?
I've been a horrible father. For the longest time, I yelled at you, scared you. I'm sorry.
You're apologizing for that now? You think that's just gonna erase what you did? You made us all suffer for so long! You seriously think that gets you off the hook?
No, I know it's not enough. I know. You can't forgive me. I understand, I truly do. But please, at least let me apologize. It's okay if you don't forgive me.
Huh? You're just apologizing because you want to feel better about yourself! I won't have it! Get out of here! Even now, I'm terrified that you might blow up and throw a knife at me again.
I'm sorry. I believed that a proper father should be feared by his children. I was wrong.
There's no taking it back now, is there? Get out. Get out of my life!
Damn.
Listen to him. He's actually apologizing. Whether or not we forgive him is up to us. Even so, I think it's important for us to hear him out. At least he is sorry. Why should it matter to me if he's sorry? Because he's family. You heard Mom, right? Dad was betrayed by a friend. He was suffering. Oh, he was suffering, so I'm just supposed to forgive him? I won't! I refuse! Yeah, you're absolutely right. You don't have to forgive him. And you don't have to listen to any of his excuses or apologies either. But still, like it or not, he's family. And so, even if you can't let it go, just let him speak. He's still our father, and we're still his daughter. Maybe Mom could forgive him for what he's done, but I can't! I won't! You know that you and I are bound to Dad by ties of blood. That Mom and Dad don't share that bond. Mom's only bound by marriage, yet she still listened to him. She even had the courage to forgive him. We should listen to him. His own flesh and blood should be willing to hear him out. I know you're scared of him. I'm scared too. I know you can't forget what he did, and maybe he doesn't deserve a clean slate. But please, begging you to listen to him. Not just for his sake, but for your sake too. Please, just listen.
If what I did taught you to fear men, to never trust them, then I was a poor teacher. I might be hopeless, but not all fathers are. Kotoyuki isn't like me. He is an upstanding young man. He can give you a good life, a happy life. I'm sure of it. Your old friend Shu is a respectable man too. I always thought that two of you could build a happy home together. But no, how I feel about any of it is beside the point. It's your choice to get married or not. And I'll support your choice. I don't expect you to forgive me. But I want you to be free of this curse of mine. I just want you to be happy. I'm so sorry.
I'm still scared. And I still don't forgive you. But at least I finally understand you.
After Dad saved up enough money from fishing, he decided to start up a restaurant with his longtime friend. Someone who was like a little brother to him. That friend, however, stabbed him in the back and ran off with all his money, leaving him with nothing but debt. Apparently that's when things really started heading south for my dad. I mean, I do sympathise with him, but his past is his problem, not mine. And it definitely doesn't excuse him for making every day a living hell for me. When it's just him and my mum, he apologises for the life of poverty he's forced us into due to his debts. According to Mum, there is nothing more shameful in this world to a father than letting his daughter see his weak side. If he acts the way he does to me just to hide something as dumb as that, I think I might just go crazy right now. This house is theirs. It has nothing to do with me. I was just born here. I may be Hinako, the little bird, but I have wings of my own. And if he doesn't care about how I want to live my life, then I'll just spread my wings and fly away. Wherever I choose will go will be entirely up to me. Game's done a really good job of just kind of like turning him on a dime. But to be fair, over the course of the runs, we've learned more about him and the pressures that he wasn't. He wasn't just a drunk, abusive man. There's a lot more that was going on behind the scenes. Good story writing. Well, I guess this isn't going to be the final video, because there's a lot more content in this than I was expecting, and dare say I think I might need to take a slight moment before we proceed here, because holy shit, some of that stuff tried to hit. Holy damn. Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care, and next time, well, Hinako seems to be close to reconciling with herself, but we've still got a small matter to deal with. Take care, everyone. I'll see you then.